All right, welcome to topic 4-7. In example 1, you looked at combining two expressions, and those two expressions, as they came together, first use the distributive property. And the fact is, when you are subtracting two expressions, you actually always have to start with the distributive property. And in example 2, we're going to see why you always have to start with the distributive property. So here's our problem, right? Jada is comparing membership costs for two gyms. What is the difference in membership between after so many months if she joins Be Strong Gym versus Zippy Health Club? They should come up with some cooler names than this. That's a different idea right now. All right, so here we have two expressions, right? So we have $19.95 per month plus the $4.95 starting fee, compared to Be Strong, which is $24.99 per month minus the $10 fee, right? So we see the two quantities there as shown. But really what we need to identify here is we need to identify this minus sign right here. Because as we look at this idea, while we are subtracting the expression, we need to realize that that minus sign needs to be distributed to this entire quantity here. So to rewrite it is what you see in the line below. We want to understand it that it's really like adding -1 times that quantity. I feel like this is something I've been telling you for a long time, right? That symbol goes with what's behind it. So in that sense, the first thing you really need to do is you got to take this -1 and distribute it to these two ideas, which is what you're seeing in their step here, which then -1 times 24.99m becomes a -24.99m, and then our -1 times -10 is going to become +10, just like here. And now we have that subtraction sign taken care of, and in the end it becomes adding two expressions, which sounds a little funny, but in the end that's what we're doing. We're just taking our terms and adding them together after we distribute out that negative sign. So that's the key idea here that we see here. And you see the work being displayed here for the rest and how they come up with their answer in the end. So what does this tell us? This tells us that we need to use the distributive property every time that we're doing a subtraction problem. And we want to rewrite our subtraction problem as an addition problem. Hence why in class I call this algebraic addition. All right, go ahead and give yourself. All right, so here is your try it for example number 2. Remember, step 1 is distribute that subtraction sign with the second expression. All right, example 3 then looks at subtracting expressions. No word problem attached, but the how to kind of shortcut, if you will, the subtracting the expressions. Right? So this is what we're going to look at. Right? Rewritten the expression here like this, so I can a little bit larger space and work with this. So as we know, this minus sign here needs to be distributed to each of these three terms, right? And we throw an addition sign right there. So you could take the time and multiply each of them by -1. However, we've already learned the concept that taking a number times 1 is the number, which means taking a number times -1 is always going to be the opposite of its number, or in other words, the opposite symbol of it. So what we can do is we can actually kind of shortcut this by starting to rewrite our problem. Right, the first part's going to stay the same because that minus sign doesn't apply, but then we're going to add, and we're going to distribute, so all we're going to do is take this negative sign and apply it in front of each of the numbers. In other words, switch the symbols. So this is positive 4, so it becomes negative 4. This is negative 3j, so it's going to become positive 3j. And this is negative 1/2 q, so it's going to become positive 1/2 q. And so I would rewrite it as this expression. And so I've taken really what is a longer problem and shortened it up really, really fast. Now I can start combining my terms. So I can take my positive 3j and positive 5j, so 5j plus 3j. And then I can take my negative 2q plus my positive 1/2. So I'm adding negative 2q plus 1/2 q. And then finally, working with these two expressions. Right? So we're adding 2/5 minus 4. So we have that expression. And so with that, then we're going to just use these expressions and simplify them by joining our like terms together. So 5j plus 3j equals 8j. All right, so we have a negative 2q and a positive q, so of course the q stays. Negative 2 plus half gives us a negative 1/2 q. And then finally, we're adding a 2/5 and subtracting 4. 2/5 minus 4, and that's going to give us a negative 3 3/5. Right? So we have that. And in the end, our expression's there, right? Alphabetical order, j, q, j comes before q. And of course, variables always come before non-variable terms. So we come away with 8j minus 1/2 q minus 3/5. All right, with that being said, we can see that that's all the work that they're doing, and it's like that. And you got to try it like this. So key number 1, right, distribute this negative number right there. And of course, as you distribute this negative number, you're switching all the symbols around. That's it for lesson 4-7. If you have any questions, bring them to class.